welcome to the first battle report in a series of 6 covering the 6 games I had at the South Coast GT tournament in the UK at the beginning of April. Sorry, I had a couple of weeks to catch up. It was very daunting. My first GT, my second only tournament. The first one was covered on previous battle reports. I'm taking the Bretonnians, I'm taking the Fae. I've been playing the Fae lately. The guys at the club say, yeah, take the Bretonnians, you'll probably be the only one. Turns out we were 9, so quite a lot of turnout for Bretonnia, which is great. I'll have a word about that throughout, I'm sure, my coverage of the 6th game. But here is game 1, and that's again High Elves. For a better grasp of what's happening and what I'm talking about, I invite you to go to the tournament's organizer's website, heelenhammer.com. Yeah, that's right, the podcast guys are running a tournament, and it's a great one. You can also visit them on their YouTube channel, Heelenhammer. They have each turn coverage. It was pretty cool, and they get some of their thoughts of the tournament. You get a link at the end of this sequence, at the end of this picture. But yeah, in terms of game, this game was against High Elves. You saw my list. I'm posting my lists at the start of each battle report. The lists were closed, so I do not have the full list, but I'll tell you what I think they have in the deployment phase. According to the rules of the tournament, we have a comp system, and based on the comp score, you get bonuses to deploy, choose the terrain, choose the engagement type, and in this one I'm facing a High Elf player with a list with a comp of 9, which is pretty high, which means he's got a lot of soft choices. As you will see, he has no ball thrower, for example. I have a comp score of 6, so he beats me, and he gets +1 on all his rolls. He chooses battle line, and he chooses to go first. He's got less drops than I have, so he will get the +1 anyway, and so we go. For magic, my High Elf opponent has a level 4 of high magic. He's got Dry Magic, Hand of Glory, Walk Between Worlds, and Arcane Unforging. And on my side, my level 1 of Beast on foot gets Wild Form. My level 1 of Life gets Free Growth, which allows my Fae to reroll, and she gets in the end Throne of Vines, Dwellers Below, Shield of Thorns, Awakening of the Woods. The tournament uses a win-lose-draw system and uses secret missions to give you extra bonus on your victory points. For this game I choose Cut Off the Head, which is I need to kill a general to get 100 victory point bonus. It's worth mentioning, Curse or Luck of the Draw. I play the first game on table 22. This, however, does not impact this game. To deployment, my High Elf opponent, who was a great player, was great to play against him, and I put him as my best sportsman of the whole tournament. Thanks, Danny, for the game again. So he's got 2 units of Sisters of Avalon behind the tower there, a chariot next to them. He then has 15 Silver Helms, another chariot, a big block of White Lions with his general, with his BSB and his level 4 in there. On that side of the table, I have my Peg Knights behind the forest. I get my Knight Terran small unit, a trebuchet behind them, the big bus of Knight of the Realm with the Fae Enchantress, the BSB, and 2 Paladins on the front. And then on his left-hand side, he's got a big block of archers, and on my side, I've got the second trebuchet on the hill there in the middle, behind 10 archers with brazier and the stakes with my level 1 of Beast, my second unit of Knight Terrans, the 9 sized 1, and the Questy Knights on their left, just next to the tower there. I've vanguarded my Pegasus Knight over there, try to attract attention from his sisters. High Elf turn 1, he moves his unit forwards. I think he placed one of the sisters' unit into the tower, and his battle line advances across the board. In his magic phase, he casts Walk Between Worlds on 2 dice and miscasts, gets a 5, kills 4 White Lions and gets a wound on his level 4. It, however, allows the chariot to move forward and present itself to the peg dice like so. In the shooting phase, his sisters shoot at the peg, cause 7 wounds and 4 get through, which isn't good. The second unit of sisters cause another wound and another wound gets through. Alaron, I forgot to mention, he's got Alaron, whatever his name, as his general, with the bow that really shoots like a ball thrower, tries to shoot at the trebuchet but misses. Bretonnia turn 1, I charged the pegs and I charged the unit of 6 knight errants into the chariot. I then move my unit of questing knights on the left side of the tower, and I leave my knight errants there with a level 1 damsel behind the tower in cover from the archers. The idea is I'm planning to use them to take care of the archers in a later turn. I move my unit of Knight of the Realms, which you don't see on the screen there, closer or in range for my magic phase of the big boss. In my magic phase, I get Throne of Vines, which my opponent decides to let go. I then uses the Chalice and gets Thunderbolt on the chariot and causes 2 wounds, which is pretty cool. The second chariot, and that's not the one in combat. I then have 4 dice left, and I say, oh, what the hell. So I roll Dwellers on the unit of White Lions, and I get 666. So as you see on the picture there, so Dwellers goes off irresistibly. I pass my ward save with Throne of Vines, so I do not get a miscast. And so from that initial big Death Star of 40 White Lions plus characters, 33 before the Dwellers due to the miscast, 20 die, and the BSB dies as well, but the general is okay. Or the BSB and the level 4 die. Yeah, Dwellers. And that's where, you know, Dwellers I think is really just a spell to weaken units, so they are more palatable for combat phase later on, but missing that many strength checks is terrible, and I felt sorry for my opponent. I mean, we were laughing about it, but he pretty much said, that's game over for me. I mean, you won the game, but we had to play it for victory points, and I mean, he had all his units left, so you know, still the game is up for grabs. But yeah, that was a big blow. I mean, 20 dead, that was pretty bad. In the shooting phase, the first trebuchet scatters away from the Silver Helms. The second one scatters also, but hits a chariot, causes 4 wounds, and kills it. In the combat phase, the chariot kills and finishes the peg unit, which is unfortunate. The Knight Errant, in return, causes 2 wounds to the chariot, but it is stubborn and passes his break test on an 8. High Elf turn 2, he charges his block of 15 Silver Helms into the flank of my Knight Errants there. The Death Star, or the remaining of the Death Star of the White Lions, moves forward to face the Questing Knights. His block of archers move behind the tower, still in line of sight of most of my units, but in such a way that I cannot clip him or charge him with any of my units. Having lost his level 4 in a previous turn from Dwellers Below, he uses his power dice for the rest of the game to dispel my Throne of Vines every turn and succeed this turn. In the shooting phase, the Sisters of Avalon shoot at the Knight of the Realm and kill 1. He then proceeds to do the same, needs 6s, gets 4 hits and 4 wound, 2 dead. That's 3 dead out of the Knight of the Realm, which is pretty good shooting. And then the archers shoot over everything because, well, they can see clearly the archer. My bowman on the hill gets 3 wounds through, and I lose 3 models, but I do pass my panic check. Insane combat phase, the Silver Helms attack the Knight Errant, cause 13 wounds, and I passed 10 saves. That was pretty insane. But then the Lion Chariot proceeds to destroy the Knight Errant, unfortunately. It was to be expected, to be honest, and the Silver Helms overrun like so. In my turn 2, I declare no charges, but move my unit as so. So the Questing Knights move around the tower in an attempt to block and potentially charge the archer block in my next turn, and my large unit of knight errant move closer to the white lions in a bait. If they charge me, they offer my Knight of the Realm and Fey Enchantress and character unit a flank, which I'll take. If they don't, I'll probably get a double charge next turn, so that's the setup I'm going for. In Magic phase, I get Thronewise backup, but I fail to cast Dwellers. I then use a Chalice and get Chain Lightning, which is good and bad. Bad because it runs out of power and I cannot use the item for the rest of the game. But I shoot it on the Chariot, kills it, which is awesome. Then it bounces onto the Sister block, kill a few, bounces on the Silver Helms, but stops them. In the shooting phase, the bowmen don't do anything, but the 2 trebuchet hits the white lions. We kill a lot. Remaining is general, 3 guys, standard, including standard, and that's. I'll go into that white lion block. I'll definitely go and charge it next turn. And here's a quick peek, as you can see, of these units, and I'm very happy of the setup. I think I can take both units with no problem. High Elf turn 3. Because his White Lion unit is much smaller, he's able to charge my Questy Knight in the rear, and of course charge them as well in the front with the unit of archers. It's a bit unfortunate, but bit of luck. I'll stick and the knights will prevail. His unit of sisters, which is not in the tower, moves forward, and his unit of silver helms moves around to set up for a charge on the trebuchet next turn. In fact, correction, both units of sisters move closer to my units. In the shooting phase, first unit of sisters hit the trap and cause a wound. Second unit of sisters don't cause any wound. In combat, the Questy Knight declares, the Questy Knight champion declares a challenge, which is accepted by the White Lion champions, and who dispatches him very quickly. The archers, the White Lions, kill 1 more Questy Knight. The Questy Knights then kill only 3 archers, which makes them, with the rear charge, the charge, and the wound, they lose combat, and I fail my panic check. So they run away. They went away through the Knight Errant unit, who failed their panic check, and they were too far from the BSB to reroll, and they run as well. The Questy Knights get run down by the White Lion and General, 4 models there, as you can see, and offers himself nicely to a charge from my big bus of Knight of the Realm. Bretonnia turn 3. What should I do? What do you think I did? Of course I charged. In the magic phase, I cast Throne of Vines and Regrowth on the Fae and get 7 wounds back, so that's 3 models, which is pretty cool. In the shooting phase, the trebuchet don't get much, but the bowmen kill 1 archer, which is, cause a wound to 1 archer, which is safe, so nothing happens there. In combat phase, I don't declare a challenge, but his White Lion unit champion declares a challenge, which I accept with the Paladin with the Questing Vow. He's got a Morning Star and he's got a 1-up rerollable. He dispatches the White Lion champion fairly quickly. My Hurricane Blow Paladin causes 1 wound on the general, and his horse causes 1 wound on the general, which is, go horses, man. My BSB then steps in, attacks his BSB, causes 1 wound, and the horse 1 wound. So that's 1 dead BSB from the elf side. And then the rest of the Knight of the Realm unit, 6 of them, all on the general, cause 7 wound. The general's dead. He doesn't pass enough saves and ward saves. But the White Lion has stubborn and the stick. So yeah, 1 model holds everything. Just 1 model, but that's to be expected, they are stubborn, so this can happen. On to High Elf turn 4, the Silver Helms charge the trebuchet there on the side of the table and angle in such a way that if he wants to overrun, he will be out of the table. He then places his sisters in range of my bowman, my other trebuchet, and the lance of Knight Errant. No magic on his side. His unit of archers and these 2 units of sisters shoot at my bowman and end up causing 4 wounds. Fortunately, my unit of bowmen with the damsel stick around. In combat phase, the remaining white lion gets a cheeky wound through on my BSB, but the BSB then retaliates and finishes the unit. And of course, the big block of silver helms dispatch the trebuchet and run off the table. It seems that I don't have pictures of my turn 4, but this is what happened based on the last movement. I move my unit of Knight of the Realm with the Fey Enchantress towards the archers, in fact so close, they are 1 inch away, and the idea is that they can't wheel anywhere and they will have either to charge me or stay around or stick around or move across in a way that try to evade me or will be charged next turn. And then I move the Knight Errant, which you see on the right hand side of the screen there above the archers, angling, facing and covering the arcs from where his silver helms will come back on his turn. In my magic phase, I get Throne of Vines on Fey. I then cast Regrowth and regrow all the bowmen, which is pretty cool. I then cast Dwellers on the archers, but it is dispelled irresistibly. I did not double succeed, unfortunately. And in the shooting phase, my trebuchet misfires and will miss next turn's fire. Turn 5, the silver helms come back on the table, and he cleverly marches them away from any charge arc of my Knight Errant. It's good. I mean, I did not want him to charge the side of my archers and then run over into the second trebuchet, so that's a good thing. Of course, now his unit of silver helms is evading me, so that's going to be interesting. A bit of a cat and mouse game for you. And then in a very clever move, he sidesteps his archers. He's got enough range into the tower, so unfortunately I moved my lance too fast, so the tower is not in the arc of charge. So well done to my opponent on this one. So I'm sitting duck there. He then proceeds into his shooting phase to shoot my Knight Errant with his sisters. Gets 9 wound through, and I makes 8 saves. So pretty cool. Rolling on the armor side. I think the lance knights will go and thank the blacksmith after the battle. His then archer's block, who is now in the tower, shoot at my bowman, causes 6 wound, and with the remaining 4 we still have the damsel's leadership and we do not panic. In my turn 5 I reform my Knight Errants, so they have a threat arc which covers and supports my Fey Enchantress unit. I then reform the Fey Enchantress unit so it looks back at the silver helms and the rest of the battlefield. In the shooting phase, my remaining trebuchet hits the silver helms and kills 4, and my bowman gets 1 extra wound through, so 5 silver helms dead, which is pretty cool. And then in his turn 6, my opponent tries to capitalize on some points and puts everything into the bowman and finishes the unit and kills the damsel. And in the last turn of the game, the Fey Enchantress unit gets as close as it can of the Silver Helm unit. We get Throne of Vines up. I cast Awakening of the Woods. He causes a wound but saves, and then a Dwellers below, and I kill 7. There's 7 dead, so there's 3 guys left. And I try to finish the unit with the trebuchet. I hit, which is amazing. The trebuchet on this game were awesome, but he fails a couple of saves, but just succeed to keep 1, so I do not get the point because of 1 model. But in all fairness, he was a it was a cool game. I guess the game was sealed when Dwellers Below killed most of his White Lions, but yeah, good first game, really good first game. So yeah, victory for Bretonnia. Very excited at the outcome of the game. Felt a bit sorry for Dwellers Below hitting that hard, but at the same time, I guess I needed it because he outrun me, he outshot me, and I didn't play 100%. I could see I've been all the side steps, all the cat and mouse games. I didn't really play up to the level of my opponent, but I guess the dice helped for once. I guess losing that many times before the tournament seems to have helped, and I guess I got pretty okay rolls during the tournament. So yeah, I win. I score in total 1,796 victory points. We both get our secret mission, so we have 100 victory points added. My opponent scores 990. Again, my opponent was great. He was awesome to play. That first game really allowed me to relax. I was very stressed coming to the first game. I was reluctant, having lost so many wargaming games prior to the tournament, to come to the tournament in the end. But yeah, that game really helped put me in the mood. A lot of pressure, you get to watch the time, you get to make sure the rules are okay, you get to play, get to remember everything. So I think I did okay for this game. Get away with a win, and quite a big one, so it's pretty cool. Now, being on table 22, I mean, I'm going to go up. And of course, the higher you go up, the tougher the armies and the better the opponents are. So I'm not too keen to stay high up, but next is Lizardman, so stay tuned for the next battle report. And as always, if you have any comments, post them below. Thank you very much.